I never expected my life to end up this way. 3 years earlier, I had been a simple maintenance technician on Earth, fixing cargo drones and repairing transport shuttles for a company that barely paid enough to survive. Space had always fascinated me, but it was something distant, something for astronauts, scientists, and people far smarter than me. But then the Interstellar Coalition opened recruitment for civilian workers on deep space stations. They didn't care about prestige or education. They just needed people willing to travel far from Earth. The pay was good, the risk even better. That's how I ended up on Station Aegis 9, a massive diplomatic and military outpost orbiting a violet gas giant near the edge of Coalition space. It was the kind of place where dozens of alien species walked the same halls. Some looked almost human. Others definitely didn't. And among them were the Valerians. They were one of the most powerful civilizations in the galaxy, tall, elegant, with silver-toned skin and glowing eyes that seemed to shimmer like distant stars. Their culture was ancient, mysterious, and incredibly strict. Valerian royalty, especially, were treated with near-religious reverence, which is why humans were strongly advised to avoid them. Unfortunately for me, fate had other plans. The first time I saw her, I first saw Princess Aelira Valeris in the diplomatic atrium. The entire chamber had gone silent when she entered. Valerian guards surrounded her, their sleek armor reflecting the artificial sunlight of the station. Every step she took seemed graceful and precise, like she had practiced walking for centuries. Her long, pale blue hair flowed behind her like liquid light. Her eyes glowed softly, silver with hints of violet. And everyone moved out of her path, even the ambassadors. I stood near a wall panel, holding a diagnostic tablet, pretending to fix a malfunctioning interface while secretly staring like an idiot. She didn't look arrogant. She didn't look cruel. She looked curious. Her eyes moved slowly across the hall, studying the different species with quiet fascination. Then, for a brief moment, she looked at me. My heart nearly stopped. I quickly lowered my gaze and focused on my tablet like my life depended on it. Because honestly, it probably did. Humans weren't exactly important in interstellar politics, and Valerian royalty didn't usually acknowledge us. But for some reason, that moment stayed with me. A strange assignment. 2 days later, I received a work order that made absolutely no sense. Repair request, Royal Observation Wing. Assign technician me. I stared at the message 3 times. Why me? I muttered. My coworker Rafi leaned over my shoulder. He immediately burst out laughing. Oh man, good luck. What do you mean good luck? That's the Valerian diplomatic sector. My stomach dropped. You're kidding. Nope, he said. Just don't look at them wrong. Don't speak unless spoken to, and definitely don't insult their royal family. Great, I muttered. That sounds easy. The royal wing. The Valerian wing of the station was unlike anything I had seen before. The architecture was smooth and flowing, almost organic. Walls curved gently, glowing faintly with soft light that shifted colors like a sunset. Even the air smelled different, like flowers and rain. 2 Valerian guards stopped me at the entrance. They were easily 7 feet tall. One of them spoke. State your purpose. A maintenance technician, I said nervously, holding up my work tablet. They scanned it. After a moment, one guard stepped aside. You may proceed. I walked down the corridor, trying not to panic. My assignment pointed toward a large observation chamber overlooking the gas giant below. When the door slid open, I froze, because inside the room was her, Princess Aelira. The most awkward moment of my life. She stood alone near the enormous observation window, watching the swirling violet storms of the planet beneath us. Her hands were folded behind her back. For a moment, she didn't notice me. I considered quietly leaving, but my tablet beeped loudly. She turned. Those glowing silver eyes met mine again. Up close, she looked even more stunning than before, and much taller. I swallowed nervously. Hello, Your Highness. She tilted her head slightly. You are human. Her voice was soft but melodic, almost musical. Yeah, I said. Maintenance technician. Silence filled the room. She studied me with intense curiosity. Then she asked something I never expected. You repair machines? Yes. Fascinating. I blinked. Fascinating? Most aliens thought humans were primitive. She stepped closer. Your species is known for creativity with mechanical systems. I scratched the back of my neck. We try. She gestured toward a nearby console. This device has malfunctioned. The display no longer responds. Right. My actual job. I moved to the console and started working. But the entire time, I could feel her watching me. The moment that changed everything. After 10 minutes, I managed to fix the system. The screen flickered back to life. There, I said. Should be good now. When I looked up, she was smiling. It was small, subtle, but beautiful. And for some reason, my nervous brain decided that was the perfect moment to say something incredibly stupid. Before I could stop myself, the words slipped out. Your Highness. Yes. I hesitated, then blurted it out. You have a really beautiful smile. The moment the words left my mouth, I wanted to launch myself out of the airlock. Silence fell over the room. My brain screamed. You just complimented a royal alien princess. You are dead. She stared at me, completely still. Seconds passed. Then something unexpected happened. Her eyes widened slightly, and her silver cheeks turned faintly blue. You find my smile beautiful? Her voice sounded almost uncertain. I nodded awkwardly. Yeah, I mean if that's not offensive or anything. She turned away suddenly. I thought I had doomed myself, but then I heard something surprising. A quiet laugh. Soft. Genuine. The princess's reaction. When she turned back, she looked different. Less distant. Less royal. More human. No one has ever said that to me before. Seriously? Valerian culture discourages personal compliments, she explained. Especially toward royalty. Oh. Well, sorry if I broke any rules. She studied me again. But now there was warmth in her eyes. You did not break a rule, she said. Then she smiled again. And this time, it was brighter. Thank you. Middle, an unlikely friendship. After that day, I expected never to see her again. Royalty had important things to do. Humans fixed broken consoles. Our worlds didn't mix. But a week later, another maintenance request arrived. Same location, same room, same princess. Except this time, she was waiting for me and smiling. Human technician, she greeted. You can call me Daniel, I said. She considered that. Daniel. The way she said my name sounded strange, but pleasant, like she was testing it. Over the next several weeks, something unexpected happened. I kept receiving assignments to the Valerian wing. Sometimes the systems really needed repairs. Other times, they mysteriously malfunctioned shortly before I arrived. Eventually, I realized the truth. She was requesting me, learning about each other. Our conversation started small. She asked questions about Earth, about oceans, about forests, about things she had only seen in historical records. Your planet contains vast bodies of liquid water? She asked one day. Yeah, I said. Huge oceans. She looked amazed. Valeria has none. No oceans. Only crystalline seas. We talked about food. about music, about human humor, which she found both confusing and delightful. And slowly, the intimidating alien princess became someone else. A curious young woman trapped in royal expectations. The secret she revealed. One evening, she seemed troubled. Her usual calm expression was gone. "Daniel," she said quietly. "Yes, there is something you should know." I sensed this wasn't going to be good. "My family has arranged a political union." "You mean marriage?" "Yes." My chest tightened unexpectedly. "With another royal house." "That sounds important. It is necessary for peace." But her voice sounded distant. "Sad." "Is that what you want?" I asked. She looked at me. For a long moment. "No." The crisis. Days later, the station erupted into chaos. Alarms blared. Security forces rushed through the halls. Rumors spread quickly. An assassination attempt. Target: Princess Aelira. My heart pounded. I ran toward the Valerian wing. Guards blocked the entrances. No one allowed inside. But then, someone called my name. "Daniel." I turned. She was standing behind a side corridor, breathing hard. Her ceremonial armor was scratched. "What happened?" I asked. "Someone attempted to kill me during a diplomatic meeting." "Who?" "We do not know." She looked scared. Truly scared. "I needed somewhere safe," she said. "And you came to a maintenance corridor?" She smiled weakly. "I came to you." The truth behind her smile. We hid in an unused cargo bay. Security patrols passed nearby, but no one found us. For a while, we sat in silence. Then she spoke again. "Daniel, may I ask you something?" "Sure." "Why did you say my smile was beautiful?" I shrugged awkwardly. "Because it was." "That is not a diplomatic answer." "Good thing I'm not a diplomat." She laughed softly. Then she said something that stunned me. That moment changed everything for me. "What do you mean?" "Before that day, I believed humans were insignificant." Ouch. "But when you spoke, you were not afraid of me." "Oh, I was terrified. Yet you spoke honestly." She looked at me with shining eyes. That honesty is rare among royalty. Ending. A choice that shocked the galaxy. Hours later, security forces finally found us. Valerian guards rushed in. Relief spread across their faces. The princess was safe. I expected to be dismissed immediately. But before leaving, she turned to me. "Daniel." "Yes." She smiled again. The same beautiful smile. "I will remember what you said." 1 month later, news spread across the galaxy. Princess Aelira had made a shocking announcement. She refused the arranged marriage. Instead, she declared a new diplomatic initiative with humanity. When reporters asked why, she gave a simple answer. "Because humans remind us of something our civilization has forgotten." "And what is that?" a journalist asked. She smiled. "Honesty." The final surprise. Weeks later, I was called to the diplomatic chamber. When I entered, she was waiting, wearing royal attire, looking radiant. "Daniel," she said. "Yes, Your Highness?" She walked closer. "Do you still believe my smile is beautiful?" I chuckled nervously. "Yeah, I do." Her eyes sparkled. "Good." Then she said something that nearly stopped my heart. "Because I intend to show it to you for the rest of my life." I blinked. "Wait, what?" She laughed. And this time, the entire galaxy would soon learn that the most powerful princess in the stars had made the most unexpected choice of all. A human maintenance technician. All because one nervous moment of honesty had changed everything. And every time she smiled at me, I remembered the day I almost died from embarrassment, but instead, accidentally started the most unlikely love story in the galaxy. For several seconds after she spoke, I just stood there staring at her. The diplomatic chamber was enormous. High crystal ceilings, floating lights, alien ambassadors from half the galaxy watching the two of us. And somehow, the Valerian princess had just said something that sounded dangerously close to a marriage proposal.
To me.
A human maintenance technician. I cleared my throat. Your Highness. Yes, Daniel, she said calmly. Did you just imply that you want to keep smiling at me for the rest of your life? A few nearby diplomats leaned closer, pretending not to listen. Princess Aelira didn't look embarrassed at all. In fact, she looked completely serious. That is correct. My brain struggled to process the situation. You realize, I said carefully, that you're one of the most powerful royal figures in the galaxy, right? Yes. And I fix broken ventilation systems. She tilted her head. Yes. I rubbed my face. This feels like a very unequal career pairing. For the first time since I'd met her, the princess laughed loudly enough for everyone in the chamber to hear. It wasn't a polite royal laugh. It was genuine.
Warm.
And the entire room seemed shocked by it. Valerian royalty almost never showed emotion in public. But Aelira clearly didn't care. The galaxy reacts. Within hours, the news exploded across the coalition network. Valerian princess forms unexpected alliance with human civilian. Royal court in shock. Diplomatic protocols uncertain. I spent the rest of the day hiding in my maintenance bay while messages poured into my terminal. Most of them came from my coworkers. Rafi burst into the room, nearly kicking the door open. Daniel. I flinched. What? You're dating a princess? I'm not dating a princess. He pointed at the news screen on the wall. A holographic recording of the diplomatic chamber replayed the moment Aelira had spoken. Reporter. Princess Aelira, what is the nature of your relationship with a human technician? Princess Aelira. He is someone I value deeply. Reporter. Romantically? Princess Aelira. Potentially. Rafi slowly turned toward me. Potentially. I groaned. This is a disaster.
No, he said.
This is legendary. The royal summons. The next morning, 2 Valerian guards arrived at my quarters. Daniel of Earth, one said. Yes. You are summoned. That sounds ominous. It is a royal request. I sighed. Of course it is. They escorted me through the station toward the Valerian wing again. Except this time, the halls were full of diplomats whispering. Aliens stared. Some looked amused. Others looked horrified. When the doors opened to the royal chamber, I stepped inside nervously. Princess Aelira stood near the observation window again, the same place where we first met. But this time she wasn't alone. 3 older Valerians stood nearby. Their silver armor and elaborate robes made it clear they were important. Very important. Aelira noticed me and smiled. Daniel, thank you for coming. One of the older Valerians stepped forward. His voice was cold. You are the human. That's usually how introductions start, yes. Aelira suppressed a laugh. This is Lord Terralis, advisor to the Valerian throne.
Great.
I was being evaluated by alien royalty. The royal question. Lord Terralis studied me carefully. You have caused quite a disruption. I do that sometimes. He ignored the joke. Our princess has chosen to delay a major political union. Yeah, I heard about that. Her decision was influenced by you. That made my stomach twist. I never asked her to do that, I said quickly. I know. He glanced at Aelira, which is precisely why we are curious. Another advisor stepped forward. Princess Aelira believes humanity possesses qualities that our people have lost. I scratched my head. Like bad jokes and duct tape? The advisors looked confused. But Aelira laughed again. That is surprisingly accurate. Lord Terralise continued. So, we must ask you a question, human. Okay. If our princess chooses a future that includes you, will you stand beside her? The room became silent. This wasn't just about romance. This was about diplomacy, politics, a human representing an entire species beside a Valerian princess. I looked at Aelira. Her glowing eyes watched me quietly, not demanding, not commanding, just hoping. And I remembered that first moment in the observation room, the shy smile, the curiosity, the loneliness hidden behind royal perfection. So I answered honestly, like always. I'm not a diplomat, I said. I'm not a hero either. The advisors waited. But if she wants someone who will be honest with her, who won't treat her like some untouchable symbol, I shrugged. I can do that. Aelira's smile slowly grew brighter. And if someone tries to assassinate her again? Lord Terralise asked. I crossed my arms. Well, I'm pretty good at hitting people with heavy tools. For the first time, even the royal advisors chuckled. A new future. The weeks that followed changed everything. The Valerian court officially recognized a new diplomatic partnership with humanity. Princess Aelira began visiting human research sectors regularly, and somehow, I became her unofficial cultural advisor, which mostly meant explaining things like why humans eat spicy food, why we name our pets ridiculous things, and why we sometimes compliment people just because we feel like it. One evening, we stood together in the observation chamber again. The violet gas giant swirled beneath the station. Aelira looked thoughtful. Daniel. Yeah. Do humans often change the course of history accidentally? All the time. She smiled softly. Then perhaps that explains us. I leaned against the railing. If someone had told me a year ago that I'd be standing next to an alien princess discussing galactic politics. Yes. I would have assumed they were drunk. She laughed again. That same beautiful laugh. The moment that completed the story. After a quiet moment, she looked at me with those glowing silver eyes. Daniel, may I ask something?
Sure.
You once told me my smile was beautiful. Still true. What if I told you you are the reason I smile now? I blinked. Well, that's a lot of pressure. It is not pressure. She stepped closer. It is gratitude. The stars reflected in her eyes. And once again, the most powerful princess in the galaxy looked less like royalty and more like the curious woman I met that first day. Daniel, she said gently. Yes. Would you like to visit Valeria one day? The capital world? Yes. Is that safe for humans? She smirked slightly. With me beside you, very safe. I laughed. Then sure. I'd love to see it. She looked out at the stars.
Good. Why?
Because the Valerian people will need time to adjust. To what? She turned toward me again and gave that same dazzling smile. To the idea that their future queen may have chosen a human. I stared. Wait, future queen? She winked. Yes. You didn't mention that part. Her laughter echoed through the chamber as I buried my face in my hands. And somewhere beyond the station, among the endless stars, a single, nervous compliment had quietly changed the destiny of two civilizations. All because one human technician had said the most dangerous words in the galaxy. You have a beautiful smile. And, thankfully, the alien princess had liked hearing it.